So here, the Computex 2014, you had a keynote today. What are you talking about?
I was talking about lots of things. I was talking about how innovation is changing and how people have got access to low-cost semiconductor devices, low-cost development boards, can easily write software for mobile devices, can easily write software for the cloud, and how all of that is fueling innovation, and how I think we're going to see lots and lots of new devices being built that are going to utilize all of those technologies, and we're going to see a lot of innovation going on around IoT, wearable devices, and all sorts of consumer devices.
So there's been a bunch of development boards with Cortex A series, different vendors, and is there a lot of the same similar open source hacking happening with the Cortex M and all the wearable and all that stuff, or you want to do more of that?
Well, there's lots of prototyping boards available for Cortex M. We have the embed boards, which is an activity that ARM's been driving for a number of years, and we have M-class processors from companies like Freescale and NXP and others that are available for that. Also, a couple of weeks ago, a new range of Arduino boards was launched. One of those has Cortex M0 Plus on it. One of them has Cortex A8 on it. So there's a very wide range of prototyping platforms out there, which people can use and start experimenting with.
So what's most important for ARM in the future? Is it the big cores or the small cores, or how do you decide? How does it work?
Well, it's all important. I mean, what we want to do is connect everything that could possibly be connected. So some of that will require small cores, some of that will require big cores. Some of that will require very customized large SoCs with multi-cores. Some of them will be very simple devices, but we see a role for ARM technology everywhere, from the smallest sensor all the way through the mobile devices, obviously, but increasingly into the networking equipment and into servers as well.
So a couple of days ago there was a press conference, ARM press conference, and there was a little bit of talk about invisible wearable computing. What does that mean? Mm-hmm.
Well, we think that wearable computing is going to take many forms. Everyone's very interested in smart watches right now, but I think that wearables will take many different shapes and sizes. I think we'll see wearable devices which are going to help track our well-being, gather data and provide information to healthcare providers, which provide a really accurate view of your state of health, and I think that's going to become really important. So smaller we can make it, the lower cost that we can make it, the better, because it will see a vast proliferation of the different types of device.
And we're here in Taiwan, and yesterday Cavium had a press announcement about server, new server chip. So what is status with ARM servers? When are they going to take over the whole market?
I don't know about the whole market, that might take a little while, but very excited about Cavium's announcement yesterday. We've been working with them for a number of years now. We announced that they were an architecture licensee of version 8 of the ARM architecture a few years ago, and they've been working hard to build some innovative devices. What they launched was their Thunder X series, and what was really interesting about that is how they've created different processors, different SoCs for different workloads. Some optimized around security, some around networking, some around storage, and some around general purpose compute. So family of devices utilizing multi-cores, up to 48 cores on a chip, providing some really serious compute performance.
So for sure this year, the second half, we see the ramp up with some announcements, some big server stuff going to happen?
Well, I think what you're going to see is, building on what Cavium announced yesterday, building on, say, what AMD announced recently. I would expect to see some servers start to ship in the later part of this year, and from there, we would expect volumes to grow slowly. There's still a lot to do to deploy servers, but we think that can grow to about a 10% market share over the next kind of 5 years or so.
So here at the Computex, you announced a new design center for Taiwan. What does it mean to have a design center here?
Well, we do have design centers all over the world, and a few years ago we opened a small site here in Taiwan, over in Hsinchu, very much focused on implementation, so working very closely with the foundries on matching developments in process technology with what we were doing with our processor technology. What we announced this week is that we're going to build on that success. We're going to grow a CPU development team here. And we've only got 3 other sites around the world where we do CPU development, so this is quite a significant step for us. But here in Taiwan, there's a lot of very innovative electronics being developed. We have some significant partners There's a big skill base here in Taiwan of engineers who are really talented, and we want to be able to combine all the benefits of that and start developing CPUs specifically focused around deeply embedded IoT and wearable, and leverage everything that's here.
So you have 4 design centers in the world?
4 design centers, well, with Taiwan, it will be 4 design centers for CPU.
And how do you decide which design center does what? Do they decide themselves what they think they're better at, or how does it work?
Well, you know, our overall business is divided into a number of different product groups, and those product groups have built their development teams in different offices around the world. So, you know, we'll build a critical mass of engineers focused on a particular technology. It could be software development tools, it could be physical IP, it could be CPU design, it could be a systems IP. So we have different teams around the world focused on different areas of technology.
And they work on technology that might come many years later, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Sometimes.
yeah. I mean, ARM is a very long-term business. I mean, if you think about the announcement yesterday from Cavium, you know, that's products are going to start to ship at the end of this year. Based on an architecture development that we started probably 5 or 6 years ago, if I kind of wind the clock back. So, you know, that kind of demonstrates the long-term nature of the way we think about product developments.
Is there any like specific? Is it going to be big cores, small cores in Taiwan, or you can't say?
Well, we're focusing on embedded. Typically, they're smaller cores. So we're thinking about IoT. We're thinking about wearable. So really, that's likely to be an extension of our M-class processors right now.
So that's the dream of having tiny small processors last forever.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get the power down low enough, then absolutely we can see the integration of a processor with a sensor with wireless technology. Being powered off a very small battery that doesn't need to be changed for a very long time. I think if we can get the power down and the integration up, then we should start to see IoT devices deployed in billions of units into all sorts of end applications. It's going to be really exciting to see how it rolls out.